See, there again. I forgot to turn on my own mic. Welcome to the show. You guys just missed the first couple minutes. Welcome to the show. You guys just missed the first couple minutes. So, sorry about that. Again, that's why I'm calling this the Preseason Run, Episode 4. Still trying to work out stuff. Getting the mic going. I'm going to have to get another camera. Hello, Sean. Toxicity. Nice to see you again. Nyan. Yeah, so trying to work out some, again, technical issues. Find the right calibration on the mic. I had some problems with the cameras this morning. I'm going to have to obviously order another webcam just to how is this going to work? Hopefully this is a better setup. Today we're going to be doing some quick 7-minute sketches. You see a little timer right there. Part of the show that I'm going to be doing later on, the official show, which should be hopefully a little bit more well produced. We're going to try to get a couple different segments, working on some quick 7-minute sketches, maybe getting some giveaways, then working on a long form commission sketch, which we will take which will take maybe a couple of episodes to finish, starting from scratch, rough pencils, layouts, inks, and then scan into the computer and digitally color those. Maybe hope to have some guest artists come on as well and chit chat a little bit, maybe do like a little sketch battle, and then one or two more special things that I like to keep as a top secret. Xian knows. Sean. Okay, well, there's 2 Seans. I think that is a record for my stream. Too bad I don't have one of those sound boxes with all the sound effects. That's another item to get. So let's call out for some suggestions. Any of you have any suggestions on 7-minute pencil head sketch? There are about 7 guys on here, 7 people, gals. Mr. Sean Chen Art, Xian, do you have any suggestions? Or Toxicity 6627? I'm assuming you were born June 27th. Happy birthday. Or was it 68? Poison Ivy. Poison Ivy. Any other takers before we embark on this first part of it too? Is like asking out the area of drawing and then making sure that the camera is. How about we'll start with this one, since and I'm not trying to ignore you, Sean, but since Teen Titans number 20 just came out this week. Thank you very much, Beavis. Why don't I draw some of the characters from Teen Titans? We have 3 returning characters: Damian Wayne, Kid Flash, and Red Arrow. Damian is the leader. He's been recruiting all the new guys. And then I wonder if Toxicity, your passwords have 6827 on them too. That'd be interesting. We'll go to an ATM later, see if. And then 3 new characters. We have Roundhouse, Jin, and Crush. Crush is being probably one of the most popular new characters right now. So let's start off with Damien, who's the leader. And if we can kind of see these pencil drawings again, figuring out how tight and focused. If you guys also want to help me out, chime in. If you feel that the pencil is too light, maybe I might get a darker lead. Usually I'm using an 2H lead. That's because I erase a lot. If I were to use anything softer, okay, I'll make a note of that toxicity. Maybe next week. Yeah, because I erase a lot, and if I use a softer lead, then the pages would just be, all smudged and no good. I think Sean uses a 2H as well. If you guys don't know Sean Chen is another pro comic book artist, one of the top guys out there. Sean and I started roughly around the same time. I think he might have had a month or so ahead of me. We both started at Valiant Comics back in '92. Sean had the extensive privilege of being brought along by the Barry Windsor Smith. Oh, thank you very much. Forgot. Got to start the timer. See, I have a note that goes onto the note. Gotta remember to start the timer if we're doing a timed sketch. So maybe this one will be like an 8-minute, 9-minute sketch. Actually, I'm almost done. I hope you guys went to your local comic book store yesterday, or maybe you're going to go this weekend. Teen Titans number 20 just came out, written by Adam Glass, drawn by me, along with Marcello Maiolo, who is who is the colorist. And Marcello and I have been working together for, I would say, probably 6-7 years now. We started on Demon Knights, which was a very fun project. Didn't start out that way. Well, personally, I just wasn't really into like that kind of genre of stuff to draw, but eventually it became, after doing a lot of research, something that I was very proud of. Although I'm not very good at drawing horses. There are a lot of horses in Demon Knights, so I had to really brush up on my horse drawing. So yesterday we did a signing at Heidi Ho Comics in Santa Monica, Adam and I. It was a very good turnout. Heidi Ho Comics, Jeffries Comics, they had just moved into a new location. They're still in Santa Monica, but they're on Broadway. They've actually moved, I think this is the third time now. Well, Jeffrey bought out Heidi Ho. Heidi Ho used to be at a different location, I think on Colorado or Santa Monica Boulevard. And then they moved to like a warehouse location. I did a signing there a few years ago for Darby Pop. And see, I know Sean's listening on this. So yeah, Adam and I were there yesterday, and we also had the esteemed Bob Burden, creator of Flaming Carrot, stop by, and the three of us went and grabbed a romantic sushi dinner nearby. There are a lot of sushi restaurants in Santa Monica. This place was okay. It was okay. I've been to better, but it was all right. So what books are you guys reading out there? I hope you guys are following comics. If you guys have been listening in on the other streams, I've been reading comics since I can remember. And by reading, I mean like looking at the pictures, of course. But when I first grew up in Taiwan, I had read a couple books. Lao Fuzi, which was a Chinese comic written and drawn by a genius named Alfonso Wong. Alfonso's based in Hong Kong, I believe. And it was basically a story about these three buddies, and they just go around and get into trouble. Well, everyday trouble, and it was silly little things and silly situations. And the great part about it was, even though there was some Chinese, and again, I'm like 3, 4, 5 years old, can't really read, but I could look at the pictures and kind of understand. Oh, Magic Order, yes, Olivier Copier. What was that? Butthead was correcting me. Yes. How was Magic Order, Sean? Did you enjoy it? I have not. You know what? I'm going to try to pick up a copy. This Saturday, Adam and I will be doing another store signing. We had tried to schedule another one. Saturday we're going to be at DJ's Universal in Studio City. DJ's Universal in Studio City. You got to excuse if I'm going to be repeating a lot of myself. I am trying to correct a speech pattern that has been identified as one that might be potentially annoying. So, Sean, there was only one Sean in the room at one time. I felt a little insecure, but now that Sean is back, I think all is well back in the universe. Although Sean Chen Art might be leaving soon. But I'm always curious to see how the Magic Order is, and of course, if you haven't heard, Magic Order is a book published by Netflix. Netflix is getting into the comic book game, and we have 1 minute left. I forgot this is a time sketch. The birds are reminding me to hurry up. If any of you speak Parrot, you will understand that these birds are very good counters. I can ask them, Beavis, what's 1 + 1? He just said 2. I train them by using their favorite seeds to count. Of course, you have to speak bird to understand that they did say 2, and it wasn't just a bunch of gibberish. Yeah, I have my 2 parrots. They're right behind me. Okay. So the first time sketch of Damien probably could be a little bit better. We're out of time. I have to put the pencil down. Let's try another one. We're probably going to run through a whole bunch today. If you guys also want to hit that little follow button, right? Well, shoot, my camera is up. Yeah, that little follow button up there. Make sure we get some followers. Should be hopefully having the show ready. Now it's being delayed back towards August again. So maybe first week. Hey George, how you doing? George Vega Art. George also has another. George, you have another stream channel too, right? George is another comic book artist as well. George is another comic book artist as well. And I think, Sean, we should play a game that every time there is that speech thing, I gotta give you like 10 cents or something. Eventually, it'll hit me in the pocketbook. 10 cents, it adds up pretty quickly. I think I've already done like 10. That's the buck right there. Oh, thank you, Sean. Sean is now hosting me. Sean number 2. Yeah, so great read, very great atmosphere. Sean's talking about Magic Order, Mark Miller and Olivier Copier. Sorry if I'm. Funny story is I met Olivier when he was first starting out in San Diego. He had shown me his portfolio, and I looked at it and I was like, wow, you are ready to be a superstar right now. If I had a comic book company, I would sign you up and lock you down. If you were a stock, I would put all my money into your company. That's how good that guy is. And he has flourished into one of, if not the top comic book artists in the industry right now. George, we are all comic book artists out here. Well, I'm going to do another timed sketch. Let's see if these are what I'm calling 7-minute sketches. I typically do these at conventions. Originally I'd done 8, but I found that I was finishing around 6, and I'm like stretching the last 2 minutes, which can be like a really long time. So I'm trying to figure out, maybe 7's a good number, plus it's lucky, although 8 is a lucky number too. So we started out with a Damien sketch. Let's move on to the next character. I'm just going to do 6 sketches today. 6 times 7 is what? 36, 42. That's about an hour, and then a few minutes of talk and filler. So the second, we got to remember, let's start the clock. So I'm going to draw the second character in Teen Titans, and that is going to be Kid Flash, Wallace West. Here we go, 7 minutes. And try to talk. I think maybe by the 3rd or 4th character, these drawings will hopefully get okay. At least, the first one's always a little rough. Word to the wise, if you guys are looking to get commission sketches or sketches in general from artists, never get the first one. First one, just warming up, getting the blood flowing, getting the blood flowing mostly to the brain, but also just getting the whole body going. So I would say maybe the 2nd or 3rd one. You also don't want to wait to the end. Wait to the end, you're kind of tired. You're like, man, I've been drawing all day. Trying to bust it out. Eyes might be a little tired. So yeah, I'm really curious. I'm going to try to pick up a copy of the Magic Order this weekend. Also make sure you guys get a copy of Teen Titans number 20. Just came out. I was saying we were going to be doing a store signing at DJ's Universal in Studio City this Saturday from 1 to 9. Adam and myself. Adam and I. And we were going to try to schedule another signing at another store right afterwards, but that store has now told us that their copies are all sold out. So that is great news to hear. Great news to hear. That's another 10 cents right there, Sean. It's great to hear these days that books are selling out, especially when it's your book. And I'm hoping the people that are buying them are enjoying them. So in the story, Teen Titans number 20. Oh, well, that's because you got like 2 kids, Sean. I only have 2 birds, and I keep them in a cage. Your kids run around, so you got to take care of them, watch them. It's much easier when you keep the birds in a cage. They can't fly around. I'm sure as we continue to stream, at some point I will let the birds out, and they will probably fly and land on my shoulder. If they do that, I would hope you guys will tell me when they start going like this and squatting down, because that's right when they're going to poop. And I would like to not have any bird poop on my shoulder. Although in an earlier stream, I'm I am trying to train them to poop on people's heads when they fly around the place. So if you're in my home, don't look up with your mouth open like this, because you might get a treat. They are, Yoji, Beavis and Butthead are very mischievous. I don't know if you guys have birds. These birds, they're parrotlets. They're this big. Supposedly they live till about 18 years. I've had them for 4. They were rehomed, so they were probably another 1 year old before then. Kind of a funny story is when I picked them up, I said to the former owners, I was like, oh, I really want to fatten these birds up. I'm going to feed them. Sean has parakeets, like parakeets and lovebirds, and I think they're like very similar, right? I said to the former owners, I was like, I'm going to fatten these birds up. And the lady looked at me and said, oh, you can't eat them. And I was like, of course, I'm only fattening them up so they won't fly around. I just want them to sit all day. Like my ideal dog would be like a bulldog, because they're just going to sit there all day. Plus, have you ever seen one of these birds without feathers? There's like no meat in them. Not even like a chicken wing. This is too long. Sean, you have any advice on drawing kids? You're very good at drawing kids. By the way, everybody, Sean Chen's in the room, another fellow artist. Sean and I started at Valiant together back in the early 90s. You will have known Sean. He has one of a longtime Marvel comic book artist. He is most well known for Iron Man and Wolverine. Iron Man and Wolverine. And I think he drew Iron Man for 3 years straight, which is one of the longest consecutive time frames for any kind of modern day artist. Nowadays, you'd be lucky if you can get an artist to work on a book for 10 issues or so. And Sean was able to withstand Iron Man, all that tech and armor, and for 3 years, one estimate, and did an amazing job. He also worked on Elektra. When that Elektra movie came out, they stole actual scenes from his book. I hope they gave you credit for that. I don't think they did. Basically, they storyboarded the entire intro sequence, and which was one of the sequences in Sean's issue number 1 of Elektra. But again, back to Iron Man and Wolverine. This was all before Iron Man movie came out, but I'm sure they used a lot of his comic book stuff when they were storyboarding, concepting, just coming up with whatever the storyline. Sean, since you've been watching the movies, have you recognized any sequences that, basically you were responsible for? Try to get that royalty check, at least a free DVD. Okay, well, getting a little bit better. You guys are helping me practice. Horrible. I've been drawing Wallace West with a little bit of a padding on his mask. You figure a guy that's running really fast, he would probably have a little bit of a protective element to his mask. In case you run too fast and you bump into something. Or maybe I'm thinking too much. Alright, this is the part where the teacher says pencils down. And easily going into 7 minutes, 30 seconds. Yeah, Sean's version was, I mean, you guys should go dig it up. Go to your local comic book store. What was some of your story arcs? I think, excuse me. It's going to be that kind of show as well. I tend to fart a lot, indiscriminately, especially when I'm working. You're sitting down so much. Now the birds are quiet. Usually when they're quiet, they're either just taking a nap or they're eating. They're just taking a nap. No, they're still awake. Okay, Wallace West. Maybe the angle might not be that great. Okay, definitely don't get the second sketch from the artist. So don't get the first, don't get the second, maybe the third. Alright, Sean. Thanks for stopping by. Sean Chen, everybody. Sean also drew Wolverine for a couple of years. So that guy is one of the most consistent professional artists out there. For the younger guys, consistency is a key. He worked on a monthly book for years and years and years, and never missed a deadline. So, okay, let's see. Third character, 7 minutes. It's going to be Red Arrow. We're just doing the Teen Titans today. As you know, my Teen Titans book came out this week. Teen Titans number 20. Written by Adam Glass. Adam Glass is executive producer on a bunch of TV shows. Great guy. Supernatural is one of the shows. Supernatural is one of the shows that he lead writer, executive producer, main man. And yesterday we had a store signing at Heidi Ho in Santa Monica. This Saturday we are going to DJ's Universal in Studio City. I used to live right up the street from DJ's in Studio City. It was the owner of DJ is, I just picked my nose, there was not a scratch. Well, it was a scratch, but the thumb went inside. Thanks, George. Kat, the owner, great guy. Great comic book shop. It's a little shop. Very extremely knowledgeable in comics and all the stuff that's coming out. He reads all the books almost, and if he doesn't have it in his store, he is more than open to getting it for you, and in a very expedited time. Also, his store, you can, I think he on Instagram yesterday, Adi Granoff just stopped by. So there's always people stopping by his shop. actually back in 2000 and I want to say like 2009. I spent a week drawing in his store. I was drawing Supergirl at the time, and I said, "Hey, Kat, what about this kind of promotion? I'll set up my drawing table in your store, and I will work on pages right in your store. So if people come by, buy books, they can actually see a comic book being made." That was the very early days of Twitch. I did not get any credit for the followers, for the amount time streamed, and or the 5 different days that I was there. Of course, 2006 there wasn't even Facebook. No, 2009 Facebook had just started, opened up. Used to be, you had to be a college student. Yeah. Well, right now I think Twitch is a great way to share, open up perhaps a new fan base. Some people that might not be familiar with my work will be able to see some of the drawings take place. I think there's a lot of ultimate goals I'm answering Yoji. Of course, there's a monetary aspect, monetizing drawings, but also some of this is I'm hoping also translates back into the work. And of course my birds, they need to get fed, so but I think the initial phase, especially now, is just to share work. I enjoy watching a lot of other people stream. I was actually talking with Ryan Benjamin at San Diego Comic-Con last week. He's starting to stream. I know he does his commissions online, and I watch a lot of I watch all of Jim Lee's streams. Also having conversations with other comic pros about their efforts to perhaps step into this arena. I know a lot of you guys have been here already, and you've already paved the path for a lot of us. I think it's just another form of extending artwork. Hey Erica, how you doing? Erica, we met previously at another stream, correct? And Dire Raven 2018, I have 2 parallettes. They will be making guest appearances later on. Right now they're playing the Paul Schaefer role, and they're playing the music in the background, which is in the form of bird chirping. Parallettes are miniature parrots. They're about this big, and they grow to be about they grow to about 18 years. The size, they're about the same size throughout. They're both brothers, 2 brothers, and they provide royalty-free music. I almost feel like I'm in a tropical forest or something. Red Arrow is the easiest to draw because she's got a hood on, so I only have to draw really just the face. And it's the 3rd drawing. So again, if you just showing up right now, my word of advice, if you're looking to get a sketch from anyone, don't be the 1st or the 2nd. At least for me, if you're going to get a sketch from me, be the 3rd. Oh, this Red Arrow. Red Arrow is Emiko. She is, I guess, a returning member of the Teen Titans at some point. Yes, that draws up memories. When I get another cam, maybe I can. You guys can see the birds. I get another cam with a longer extension cord. We'll have a much tighter feature on them. You know, I ask them math problems. What's 1 plus 1? Hey, Beavis, what's 1 plus 1? He said 2. Butthead, what's 2 plus 2? No. Yes. He said 5, but then he corrected himself. Alright, now we're going to get to the 3 new members of the Teen Titans. I got to remember to keep looking at the camera and not at my face. We have 3 new members, of course, Damien. Okay, I know. Don't worry about it, guys. Thank you. Damien, of course, is the leader of the new Teen Titans. He is recruiting all these new members to join his new squad. They have a new headquarters called Mercy Hall. If you happen to pick up the copy of the book, Mercy Hall was a lot of fun to design. It's actually located in Red Hook. Sean Chen and I used to be roommates in Carroll Gardens, and Red Hook was a pretty rough area at the time, but now it's gentrified. But the building that they're in is still pretty rough. Yes, as a bird whisperer, bird breeder, maybe bird tricks, something with birds, just not eating them because there's no meat on them. But if there was an earthquake and knock on wood, and I'm stuck here, maybe after like a couple of weeks to a month, maybe. Like if I was those kids in the Thai cave. No, they were there for like a few weeks. It's okay. I can withstand a few weeks. Only like, you know, extreme dire situations. So let's draw the new Teen Titans. Man, you gotta watch out because you can say some stuff that might come back. And so one of the other new members is called Jin, spelled D-J-I-N. She is a genie, and I think on the cover. The cover. Yeah, it does say 4,000 years old teenager. She's a 4,000-year-old teenager. Could not get math. Kept failing math. They had to keep her in genie school. I mean, spells, flying, aced them, but they were pretty strict on math. So Jin also has a lot of secrets about her that will be revealed as the story progresses. And she also has like these little tattoos on her face that, oh, you know what? Again, I gotta start the timer. If I don't start the timer, this is not even a 7-minute sketch. Yeah, I'll start a little bit because I already started. So if you can see she has like these tattoos on her face. Each time I draw them, they're different. My thinking is that they're kind of like living tattoos, and they kind of move around depending on her mood, depending on the spells. They glow and accent whenever she's in a battle. and or if she's happy or sad. So kind of like a genie in a lamp, but not really. Yes, like you're quite correct, Yoji. And also then that way, because Jorge Jimenez did the initial designs on these characters, and in trying to take his designs and adapt them for a monthly comic, made a few slight adjustments. Jorge put a lot of design and effort into them, and there's beautiful characters. But also, as I'm drawing them each month, I want to be able to find a consistency, a level of detail that works. You guys want to come out in 12 minutes, alright guys? They do animate, so hopefully if this version of Teen Titans gets turned into a cartoon or a movie, I think that would be a really cool effect. You know, you see tattoos move, evolve, maybe even take shape, maybe even have scripting. I think it's like, for me, my thought is that it's an ancient genie script, so they kind of spell out spells. They spell out spells. And also it's based upon emotion. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. Maybe. I actually got to also, there's a DC Universe, it's a subscription service that's coming out. I got to preview some of that a few weeks ago. They had me in to tape some commentary. I got to watch a few episodes of Young Justice. Any of you guys watch Young Justice out there? Man, cartoons and animation have gotten really good. The two episodes that I saw, one was with now I'm spacing. Well, one of them was with Impulse. Impulse shows up. So that was kind of cool. And then, you know, I've been asking Jorge, he hasn't gotten back to me. Because Jin has a rather unique hair style. And is her hair like kind of like dreadlocks, that it's in this shape? How does it hold its form? Does she use, what kind of product does she use in her hair to create these things? And could they be used as a weapon in a fight? Because they're quite pointy. And if you figure if there's a lot of product in there, probably pretty stiff. So you could poke an eye out if you're not careful. So yeah, Impulse. Has the Impulse Dire Raven 2018, has the Impulse episode come out yet? I'm not sure. They just had us watch a few episodes and give some commentary. There was a guy there, I think his name was Brad or Ben, I think it's Brad, I forgot, I'm sorry, I'm just really bad with names. I did it with Brittany Hoser, who's also an editor at DC, and I think that was Brad, I'm sorry if I forget. It's like the DC librarian. Man, this guy knew everything about DC Comics. Every year, every character, every artist, He was quite literally a walking encyclopedia. So it was a lot of fun um, chatting with him and talking about the episode. Oh, that came out a couple years ago already? Man, I thought I was getting to watch something special. All right, if you saw it a couple years ago, um, what was in the episode, Dire Raven? What happened with Impulse? Did he come back from the future? Was that the episode? He came back from the future, and he met the Flash of now, who's his dad or his grandfather. It was a fun episode. I mean, me growing up, when I was growing up, cartoons, Super Friends, of course, was my favorite. Super Friends, Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, with Iceman and Firestar. You guys hear the dun 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 dun? It's like from Beverly Hills Cop. Axel F. Yes, Barry. Yeah. He came, and then there was like a twist at the end, right? There was like a twist that you thought he came to do this, but he was really there for something else. Yes, Gotcha Man, Battle of the Planets. Growing up in Taiwan, that would be the cartoon that I would watch. That there was another one where I don't remember the name, but it was like a girl got separated from her family, and every episode she's like this close to being reunited with her family, but then something happens and she has to sacrifice herself. I don't know the name of it. I just remember when I was 4, 5, 6 years old watching that. I was just hooked. Every week I wanted to come back and watch the next episode. Like, did she get home? Did she, did she find her family? Did she meet her friends? But I, for the life of me, do not remember what the name of the cartoon was. Any of you have seen something like that? Please let me know. I'm curious to see if it's held up. And she has these black things that come out. Hopefully I get to see Jorge later this year at a show, and then I can ask him, man, what were you thinking when you designed this stuff? And what does this stuff do? Does it just look cool, or did you have a particular purpose to some of these things? Because I've also noticed that in some of the other pieces that he's done, there's similar kind of design cues. A lot of artists, even myself included, there are particular design cues that we like and use in our character designs. So, I'm going to be wrapping this up soon. 2 more characters to go. I know. That happens. Sometimes you design a character, you're not going to draw, so you're going to put all these details in it. The guy next afterwards down the chain is cursing you out. Okay. So I did not see a new episode of Young Avengers. Uh, it was a cool episode though. Okay, let's see. We are down to 2 more characters. This guy is my favorite so far in terms of moments in the story. Roundhouse. Roundhouse is an elemental boy, or has elemental powers, um, meaning he can change himself into a cannonball, like a wrecking ball, or he can change himself into a fireball, an ice ball. Is wind an element? Can he change himself into a wind ball? Or he's a ball of wind, like one of those desert things. Yeah, sort of. I guess he's sort of like, well, he's element woman. There's element woman, elemental woman, element woman. Where she changes, she's able to use like rock, lava, or stone. And he's kind of chubby. And in the second issue, he does a dab. DC's first ever dab by a character. I know in maybe another year or later on in the year, it's going to be dated. Dabbing. Is dabbing maybe already dated by now? That is a question. I have personally never dabbed in my life. I could be persuaded to. I think Beavis says he's dabbed, with his wing. Yeah, you can dab later, butthead. And we're going to find out a lot more about this character in coming issues. Well, at least in the next issue. Number 21. Fifth try is not so good. So any of you make it down to San Diego Comic-Con last weekend? As I mentioned earlier, that was my 26th in a row. I went, my first one was in 1992. I went, I was 20 years old. And I went with my high school buddy John Paul Leon. And we had our portfolios in tow. John Paul had already started drawing. He had one professional gig under his belt already. He had done a RoboCop series for Dark Horse, RoboCop Prime Suspect. And I was a bench player coming off the bench for my college basketball team. So John Paul, he had gone to SVA, School of Visual Arts in New York. I went to Pratt Institute, also in New York, but in Brooklyn. And while at SVA, John Paul met a man named Michael Davis. Yoji, you gotta go to San Diego, man. Dire Raven. Did you say hello? Did we? Jack Kirby dropped out of prep, yes. Quite honestly, I'm very surprised the school does not promote that aspect as well. Daniel Close also went to Pratt, the guy from indie comics fame. But from my understanding, he had a falling out with the school, and I can clearly understand a lot of that. I had a kind of a falling out with the school myself. But while I was there, it was a great experience. Art school, I went and studied architecture, and I had a scholarship in architecture, so that's kind of what got me into comics too, is that architecture school was so, I didn't know that. Vern Hogarth started SVA. Yeah, you learn something new every day. Thank you very much, Yoji. So architecture school, everything was measured, ruled, had to be very precise, and I went to an art high school, so I was used to drawing every day, and the first 2 years of your curriculum are pretty much set in architecture school, so you can't really do too much. So one day, I went down to the corner bodega, on Myrtle, and there was a comic book rack. And in the comic book rack, there was a Jim Lee comic book, X-Men, Uncanny X-Men. X-Men had not come out yet. And I said, wow. I remember as a teenager, I used to read comics. Comics really influenced me in terms of just my love of drawing. We used to sit around and draw superheroes or robots, or I'd watch Star Wars, Return of the Jedi, and come back home and draw my own battle sequences with the X-Wings and TIE Fighters and stuff like that. And I said, I'm in New York. Marvel and DC were in New York at the time. Now DC is in Burbank. Why not try to get a job drawing comics part-time? So that it would fulfill my need, my urgency to urge to draw, and get paid, make a little living as a college student. Even though I had a full scholarship, I didn't have much money to do anything else. So that's Roundhouse. I think maybe for the talking, I might need to extend the time. 7 minutes. If I'm not talking, 7 minutes would be a lot more finished. So I thought, hey, why not try to get a side job drawing comics? And that was the beginning of the end. Yes, and happened to be very lucky. Got in at the right time, 1990. Excuse me, 1990 was my first year in New York. I think that was probably maybe winter of 91. I still have that very comic book that I bought. It was like a double-sized Uncanny X-Men. Rogue was in the Savage Land with that Magneto. And I don't have the cover on it anymore. I'd taken the cover off because it was like a gatefold cover or triptych cover, whatever, and I hung that up on the wall. But the book I still have. It's yellow and it's somewhat brittle, but it's still holding up. And I said, I used to remember reading Jim Lee's comics when I was a kid, teenager. I remember his first book, Alpha Flight. I remember the first time I saw his work. And said, well, maybe I can give this a try. So the last sketch of the day before we head out. It's noon. I've got to get back to regular work. This is going to be Crush. There's something about an artist when you see their work, and of course Jim Lee's Alpha Flight was not what his later stuff would be like, but there were hints about it, and there were also there was just a particular thing about the art that would just looked slick, looked new, looked fresh in comparison to a lot of what some of the other artists at the time were doing. And to Jim's credit too, it's held up. And he continues to reinvent himself in particular ways, and his work is still enamored worldwide. And it does not look aged at all. And there are some artists that, if you look at some of my earlier work back at Valiant, it was very, very dated. Some of that I think is the inking style of the artists that they had paired me up with, the inkers. Some of it is the storytelling, but I've been always a big admirer of Jim's, big fan. It's kind of funny because I turn into like a fanboy whenever I meet him. So Jay Lee is another guy that has some tremendous art style. So any of you that are watching this, you're unfamiliar with some of the names of artists that I'm calling out, hey, just do a quick Google search. And I think these are all amazing, super talented guys that have tremendous careers in comics, illustration. And as a young artist, I think it's always beneficial to expose yourself to other artists that are outside your comfort zone. The key is not that, you want to draw like them. The key is to just expose yourself to different styles. There might be a little bit here and there that you might pick up that you like. But because ultimately the biggest part is to develop your own style, your own story, and your own voice. And a great way of doing that is to look at what's out there already. Guys that have kind of paved the path for you. There are guys that have paved the path for me and other artists here on Twitch, but also in comics, drawing-wise, and in the art world. There are a lot of others that have come before. And studying them, looking at their work, appreciating what they've done, only comes back towards yourself and your own work. Yoji, you know a lot about comics. Do you have a favorite show, Yoji, like a convention that you've been to? San Diego it's fun, but it's also very draining. It's 5 days. You're on the entire time. And it's not really a vacation or a resting thing. You've got the show during the day, pitching thing for a while. Oh, it's good for you. You got the show during the day, whether it's signings, panels, meetings. And then you have dinners at night, dinners with friends, dinners with editors, business dinners, dinners with potential clients. Also, I was very lucky to have gone to the Warner Brothers party this year. And that was a lot of fun, hobnobbing with the pretty people. There's almost 3 or 4 conventions every weekend. I think if I do these drawings a little bit smaller, they might come out better. This one I seem to like. So I'm going to go back on an earlier thing. Don't ask for the first drawing. Don't ask for the second. Don't ask for the third. Maybe the third one is okay. No, this is red arrow. Ask for the 6th drawing. That's the one that's going to come out. That's the ideal peak. 6th drawing. Curious to see how the 7th one is. Maybe I'm just hitting a stride. That's good. The 7th drawing will come in the form of the actual comic book page that you'll be seeing in the books later on. And if you haven't figured out yet, crushes Lobo's daughter. And you might be saying to yourself, how is that possible? Anything's possible these days. So how can we do a giveaway here? How many people do we have online? Ooh, Tony's hosting me. Thank you, Tony. Yoji, let's see. Let me scroll back up, see who is here. Uh-oh. Oh, what happened? Hold on. Oh, chat room, okay. Yeah, I haven't used the Nightbot. I haven't set it up yet. There are a couple more things that I need to do. But for me, the deadlines on the regular books are a little bit more important right now. But I also want to try to get in my allotment. Ooh, this Kid Flash is not very good. That's the 2nd drawing. Ugh. It's all skewed. Yeah, that's also the angle in which you're sitting at the table. Angle in which you're sitting at the table. I think I was leaning back too much when I was doing this. So Yoji, you have a suggestion? We can do a trivia. We can do favoritism. Compliments will win a sketch. Yeah. Any suggestions? Trivia is cool. All right. How far back can you guys scroll on the, do you know, on the chat? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a winner. If you can win one, you can win one. That's it. If you've won one already, today, just today, you can win one next time you come on. I have not set up the polling system. So just whoever types first and answers first, I hope there's like at least 6 people that are going to answer, please. Okay. There was another professional artist on chat today. This would be for the Damian Wayne sketch. If you can... see, toxicity. You're jumping the gun. I haven't asked the question yet. I have not asked the question yet. I know it was Sean. See, gotta wait for the question. There was another artist early on today. We were blessed with his presence. His name was Sean Chen. Can you name 2 books that Sean has drawn throughout his career as a professional comic book artist? 2 books. We talked about 2 books, but if you know more than 2 books, and I know you're probably going on Wikipedia right now. Toxicity 6827, Wolverine and Iron Man. That's the first one that came up. Yoji? That qualifies you to win any one of the other 5. So if you guys get a chance, email me. Let me write my email. It's Bernard Chang at bernardchang.com. Email me your address. So toxicity. Next up, this not very good Kid Flash. Now, this should be easy. I've mentioned his name numerous times on the stream before. Of course, I have a new book out this week. It looks like only 3 people might be playing. So you guys might, if nobody else answers, then you might be able to win too. Who's the colorist on Teen Titans that I'm working with? This guy's a great guy. He lives in Brazil. He is also colorist on many other books for Marvel and DC. But most importantly, he works with me on Teen Titans. Any takers? Marcello Maiolo, yes. Thank you very much, Dire Raven. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Now there might be a strategy being employed. If you don't like this drawing, you're not answering the question. But I'm going to throw this out because if not enough people answer for the last few, I'm going to be opening it up to people that have already won. So you might win too. Okay, Dire Raven, what's going to happen to your screen name next year? It's going to seem so dated. Okay, third up. This is Red Arrow. Let's see here. I got one. The writer of Teen Titans is Adam Glass. Can you name another comic book for DC that Adam has written, which has been extremely popular and turned into a huge movie for this Red Arrow sketch? And I will cover postage for these initial sketches, since you guys are so gracious to come on and help me go through the learning ropes on Twitch streaming. Yo, Jimbo, first Suicide Squad, yes. Congratulations. Yo, G. I've also noticed too, since I've been taping my other drawings, my regular pages, that I'll upload when those books come out. When I'm penciling, I don't move the paper that much, but when I'm inking, it's like being shifted all over the place. So I think in part two, I was asking a buddy of mine, some of it is when you're inking, the line needs to be so precise that it's more comfortable drawing a line in a particular way with the wrist. There's more control. Yes, yes. I sometimes, if I'm penciling and I know I'm going to be inking the piece, some of it I leave out, like some of the hair stuff. I will ultimately probably just do straight to inks. I might give I might indicate like an outline, a shape, how it might be going. But some of these curls and stuff, I'm going to be just inking. It's a matter of more about efficiency. Limited time. Alright, this is one of the new characters, Jin. She's a genie, 4,000 years old, teenager, if that's possible. Yes. So far, all three people chatting have won a prize. 4,000 years of angst. Don't we know about it? I'm close to that. Let's see. What's a good... Well, here's one. I talked about this earlier. The Teen Titans have a new headquarters. It's no longer like a T building. What is it called? What is the new headquarters called? The building. If you've read the book, if you have the book, this is a very easy question. I mentioned it a couple times, the name of this place. and or you can give me the name of the neighborhood that this place is located in. A specific neighborhood, not the city. It's in New York. Somebody's looking online right now. There is a lifeline being called out. Any takers? This is open to everybody, so you guys can still win again. You could end up with 4 sketches, which would save me on postage. I would rather have that. So I'm only mailing it, I'm only sending 3 pieces out. But if there's a 4th person that comes in, name of the Teen Titans headquarters in the new Teen Titans number 20, just came out this Wednesday. It is located in an area of New York City, and it is a former juvenile detention hall. There are a lot of secret rooms in this place. Specifically, if you look into the last 2 pages of the issue, you'll find there's a lot of surprises. Any takers? Anybody? I mentioned this was a neighborhood close to Mercy Hall, Dyer Raven. I also used to live near there. Carroll Gardens. Someone's paying attention. Yes. In Brooklyn. Okay, now you don't get any extra points for having all this extra detail, but Dyer Raven. I hope Dyer Raven wins the rest of these. Well, actually, at this point, it doesn't matter because I'm still only mailing it out to 3. Okay. This guy's roundhouse. It is rigged. You know, I guess if you guys really wanted to, you could DM me and then I type it in. I can give you the answers. Roundhouse. Go make sure. He's an element boy. What is one power? What is one element I am unsure of if he can transform himself into as a ball? I mentioned this earlier in the stream. It's not a fireball. It's not a wrecking ball. It's not a rock ball. There was something that an elemental element I was unsure of. Close. Toxicity is close. It's another form of that. Begins with a W. Okay, toxicity wins 68271. 6827. 271 is another guy. He's a jerk. All right. Thank you so much. Come on, Yoji. Yoji's waiting for this last one. Yoji wants crush. What could be a good ending? I got one. If you know about your avian biology. If you know about your avian biology. This is for crush. How long, typically, do parallettes live for? How long do parallettes live for? You know, like real size, like actual size, like normal parrots, they live for a long. No, Yoji, no, longer than that. 18. Dire Raven with the 18. Thank you so much. Yoji, you had a shot right there. I know you're waiting. Come on. 18 years. 18 years. Dire Raven. 2018. Soon to be Dire Raven 2019. Alright, guys. Thank you so much for playing. Thank you so much for hanging out this morning. I'm going to try to stream again. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe Sunday. Do some more sketches. Figure out this kind of configuration. Thanks a lot again, guys. And I hope to see you soon. Enjoy the rest of this lovely hot Thursday. And next time, think of some ideas of characters you'd like to see drawn. Peace out.